10 years ago, my wife walked out on me and our 5 children, thrusting me into the role of a single parent overnight. With no other option, I pushed forward, learning to navigate the chaos. Year after year, the bond between my kids and me grew, stronger. But nothing could have prepared me for her reaction when she discovered what I had done a decade later. Each morning, I'd rise at 5 a.m., cherishing the rare stillness before the day's demands kicked in. As coffee brewed and pancakes sizzled on the griddle, I'd reflect on the life we'd built. Raising 5 kids alone was no small task, but every smile around the breakfast table made it worthwhile. Their laughter filled the void she left behind. "Dad, I can't find my homework," my youngest shouted, pulling me back to the moment. I handed over a forgotten lunchbox, hurting the crew as we rushed out the door. Mornings were a whirlwind of backpacks and shoes, but I treasured every second. At work, the hum of machinery brought a strange calm, giving my mind a break from home worries. My co-workers often marveled at how I juggled it all. 5 kids and still showing up with a smile, one said, shaking his head. They didn't know about the nightly homework battles, dinners, and bedtime routines, but it was all worth it. For my children. One evening, while sorting through the day's mail, I froze at the sight of familiar handwriting on an envelope. A flood of old memories hit me. What could she possibly want after all this time? Soon after, Jim, my supervisor, called me into his office. "Gareth, we've noticed your hard work," he began. "We'd like to offer you a promotion." The opportunity was incredible, promising a better future. But it came at a cost. Time away from my kids, the life I'd poured everything into preserving. Torn between financial security and precious family time, I knew this decision would change everything. Driving home, I thought of all I'd sacrificed for my children, the missed gatherings, sleepless nights, and the relentless rhythm of single parenthood that had become my life. As I parked, I noticed a letter from my estranged wife on the dashboard. Her unexpected outreach stirred a storm of questions. Could I handle the demands of a promotion while dealing with whatever this letter held? The choices felt heavier than ever. That evening, I sat down with my eldest, who had stepped up as a second parent since their mother left. "I was offered a promotion today," I started. Their eyes widened in surprise. "It means more money, but also longer hours." They managed a small, proud smile. "We'll make it work, Dad," they said, their words carrying a weight far beyond their years. In that shared glance, gratitude and understanding passed silently between us. "Thank you for everything," I said, meeting their eyes. They nodded, a simple gesture that spoke volumes. Still, the letter in my pocket felt like an unwelcome reminder of the past. Later that night, curiosity got the better of me, and I opened it. My hands trembled as I read her words. She wanted to reconnect, claiming she had changed and was seeking forgiveness. She asked for a chance to be part of our family again. Anger and old memories surged. Of her leaving, of our life before, and of the pain she left behind. Setting the letter down, I rubbed my temples. I knew I couldn't respond right away. This was too big to decide on impulse. My kids deserved a say in what happened next. For now, I needed time to process, to weigh her intentions against the life we had rebuilt. I knew I had to tell my kids about their mother's sudden interest in reconnecting. The letter sat on the table as I wrestled with how much to share. Glancing up, I caught my eldest sigh, and it was clear they sensed something was wrong. "We need to talk," I said, summoning my strength. The letter had stirred painful memories, images of the night she left, the confusion in my children's eyes, and the guilt I carried for not being enough. I knew I couldn't avoid this conversation. My children deserved honesty, however hard it might be. At dinner, I held back, letting them enjoy the usual laughter and chatter. Their comfort stood in stark contrast to my unease. "Dad, you're quiet tonight," my youngest noticed, pulling me back to the moment. I forced a smile, hoping to delay the inevitable a little longer. In the days that followed, subtle changes emerged. My eldest grew more distant, lost in thought, while the younger ones started asking about their mother. "Do you think Mom misses us?" my middle child asked one night, catching me off guard. Their questions made it clear that the time to discuss the letter was fast approaching. Finally, during a weekend family dinner, I gathered everyone around. "Kids, there's something important I need to tell you," I said, my voice steady, but heavy. As I read the letter aloud, I watched their faces shift from confusion to disbelief. Their reactions were mixed: curiosity, anger, and quiet acceptance. My eldest clenched their fists. "Why now, after all these years?" they asked, barely containing their frustration. The younger ones were more curious, one asking, "Does she really want to come back?" I saw the conflict in their eyes. They wanted answers, but also wanted to forget. I assured them that nothing would happen without their input. "We'll take this one step at a time," I said, meeting each of their eyes. "We're a team. We face this as a family." That seemed to ease the tension, even if uncertainty lingered. Balancing everything soon became harder as the demands of my new promotion grew. Morning started earlier, nights stretched longer, and I was constantly juggling responsibilities. The strain showed at home and on the construction site. Noticing my distraction, Jim called me in for a one-on-one. "Gareth, is everything okay?" he asked with genuine concern. I sighed, finally admitting, "It's been a lot at home." I explained my family situation and the emotional toll it had taken. Jim listened and nodded. "That sounds incredibly tough," he said, understanding. "If you need flexibility, just let me know. We're here to support you." His words lifted a weight I hadn't realized I was carrying, renewing my sense of how I could manage it all. Encouraged by Jim's advice, I decided to consult a lawyer to understand my options regarding my wife's possible return. I wanted to be prepared, ensuring my family's well-being remained secure. Meeting with the lawyer brought clarity on custody and legal implications, giving me a sense of control in a chaotic situation. Meanwhile, my kids began researching their mother's life over the past decade. Armed with curiosity and the internet, they uncovered surprising details. "Dad, we found some things about Mom," my eldest shared, showing me what they'd discovered. It painted a complex picture of her struggles and life changes. Seeing my kids take on this emotional burden made my heart ache. They were growing up too quickly, carrying weight they shouldn't have to. With work, home, and legal complexities piling up, my stress soared. Every day felt like a marathon, leaving little room to breathe. Nights grew restless, my mind racing, with scenarios and worries about my kids, my wife's unexpected outreach, and my new job demands. It was a delicate balance, and every misstep felt like a potential collapse. One particularly tough day, I confided in an old friend, Mark, who'd been through a difficult divorce. Meeting at a local diner, I unburdened myself. "Mark, I don't know how much more I can take," I admitted. He listened with understanding, offering calm reassurance. The conversation felt like a release, a reminder that I wasn't facing this alone. With Mark's encouragement, I began attending a support group for single parents. That first meeting was nerve-wracking, but I quickly found solace in shared experiences. Each story in the room reminded me I wasn't alone, and the group's empathy provided the understanding I'd been craving. I picked up practical tips for time management, navigating legal issues, and finding resilience. "You're doing great, Gareth," one member assured me. Gradually, this support became my foundation, equipping me to tackle each responsibility. With renewed strength, I approached everything more methodically, making lists, setting priorities, and seeking help when needed. "We've got this," I reassured my kids one evening. The group's advice became my guide, grounding me in practical solutions. Slowly, I began to feel stable again, ready to face whatever came next. Yet, the sense of peace at home was fragile. My kids felt the tension, adding strain to their lives. I tried to keep things normal, but the atmosphere was undeniably delicate. "Everything okay, Dad?" my eldest asked one evening, concern in their eyes. I nodded, offering a reassuring smile, though we all knew the calm felt temporary. Then one evening, my eldest showed me new information they'd found online about their mother. "Dad, you need to see this," they said, pointing to social media posts and articles. Her life was different from what I'd imagined. Her struggles and instability were evident, and the possibility that she was reaching out for ulterior motives felt more real. Their discoveries hinted she had been in another relationship and might be seeking reconciliation for financial reasons. "Look, Dad, she's been struggling," my eldest noted. The evidence cast doubt on her intentions, but without certainty, I hesitated to jump to conclusions. "We need to be careful," I cautioned them. "Let's not assume the worst yet." Every new revelation made the situation more complex, especially with my kids so deeply involved. Balancing their concerns and my own doubts, I knew that whatever lay ahead would require both caution and resilience from us all. To clear our minds, we took a short family getaway to a cozy lake cabin, hoping a change of scenery might help us unwind. The break worked wonders. Laughter returned, and we found a sense of normalcy. "This is exactly what we needed," I said, as we relaxed by the campfire, sharing stories and unwinding together. I taught my youngest to fish while the older kids opened up, releasing pent-up stress. Every moment felt like it strengthened the bond between us, helping us forget our worries for a little while. Back home, I began looking into my wife's life, reaching out to mutual friends to gather pieces of her story. A few friends shared details, painting a picture of instability and struggle. Each fragment added to the puzzle, deepening my need for clarity about her intentions. Just as we settled back into routine, I received a call from an unknown number. I answered, and a familiar voice said, "Gareth, it's me." My pulse quickened. She wanted to discuss visiting the kids. "I just want to see them," she pleaded. The request lingered, stirring irritation and skepticism. Our tense conversation was laced with desperation on her end, but I held my ground. "After all this time, why now?" I asked. Her responses were vague, but her insistence was clear. Despite my doubts, I agreed to a meeting, setting strict conditions. "We'll meet in a public place," I insisted. "If the kids don't want to see you, it ends there." She reluctantly agreed, sensing my resolve. I chose a neutral location, the local park by the duck pond at 2 p.m. As the date approached, the kids grew anxious. "Do we really have to see her?" my youngest asked, clutching my hand. Even my eldest looked uncertain. "It's been so long, Dad. How do we prepare for this?" I did my best to reassure them, though the tension was palpable. On the day of the meeting, the kids and I shared an unspoken apprehension. At the park, we waited, all of us on edge. My wife arrived, visibly emotional at the sight of her grown children. The kids stood cautiously, their expressions a mix of skepticism and confusion. She tried to explain, but her words felt hollow. "I was going through a lot," she began, but their guarded faces held firm. My eldest finally broke the silence, asking, "What do you expect from us now?" The question hung in the air, unanswered, the reunion fraught with tension and awkward pauses. As the encounter ended, I promised my children I'd keep looking for answers. We left, each of us carrying a new layer of questions and unresolved feelings. "How have you all been?" she asked hesitantly. The kids exchanged glances, uncertain how to respond. "We're managing," I replied, keeping my focus on the kids' well-being rather than my own feelings. Later, they shared their confusion and unease about their mother's sudden return. "Why now, Dad? Why did she come back?" My youngest asked, eyes clouded with uncertainty. I sighed, gathering them close. "I don't have all the answers, but we'll figure it out together," I assured them, feeling the weight of their mixed emotions. Seeking clarity, I decided to hire a private investigator to dig into her current situation. "We need to know more before making any decisions," I told my eldest, who nodded. The investigator, a seasoned professional, promised to be thorough. Handing over an old photo and relevant details, I urged him, "Find out everything you can." This step felt like a proactive measure to protect our family's future. Days turned into a waiting game filled with tension and sleepless nights. Each time the phone rang, my heart skipped a beat. The kids sensed my unease, adding to their own. "Any news?" my eldest would ask daily, a blend of hope and dread in their voice. As the weeks passed, updates from the investigator began to reveal a troubling picture. Through conversations with acquaintances and her social media posts, the investigator uncovered signs of financial and legal struggles. "She's up to her ears in debt and even facing lawsuits," he reported. I sat quietly, absorbing the information. It was both a relief and a sorrowful confirmation of my fears. She wasn't looking to reconnect, but rather to escape her own problems. "I knew it," I muttered, feeling a weight settle in my chest. Despite the clarity, the truth reopened. Old wounds. I had hoped deep down for a genuine reason, but the evidence showed otherwise. I gathered my children and shared the findings, approaching the conversation with honesty. "I need you all to understand what's really going on," I said, showing them the reports. Their expressions shifted as they absorbed the truth, each coming to terms with her motives. "We'll handle this together," I reassured them. In that moment, our family bond felt stronger than ever. We agreed to move forward without her, feeling unified in our decision. "We can do this, just like we always have," I said with determination. The children nodded, each accepting the reality of the situation. Our mutual decision to protect our family fortified our resolve, and we made a pact to support each other through whatever came next. To ensure our protection, I consulted the lawyer again, putting legal measures in place for our financial and emotional security. "We need to cover all bases," I explained, signing the documents that would safeguard our future. For the first time in weeks, I felt a sense of control returning to our lives. Finally, I gathered my kids around the dining table for an important reveal. Taking a deep breath, I unfolded the documents I'd been working on in silence for years. "I have something important to show you," I began. Their eyes widened as I laid out papers that represented my love and dedication to them over the past decade, a testament to the strength we had built together. "I've been saving and investing to ensure a brighter future for all of you," I explained, sharing the sacrifices I had made and the financial strategies I implemented. "My goal was to help you attend college and lead stable lives," I said, my voice thick with emotion. The children's expressions softened as they began to understand the depth of my commitment. I had completed the adoption process, ensuring they were legally protected against any custody claims from their mother. "I wanted you to always be by my side, no matter what," I said, looking into each of their eyes. My words carried a weight that brought a sense of security they hadn't fully felt before. The kids were taken aback, tears welling in their eyes. They always knew I loved them, but seeing the extent of my planning was overwhelming. "Dad, you did all of this for us?" my youngest asked in disbelief. I nodded, my own eyes starting to glisten. The realization of my love and dedication struck them hard. It was a moment we would cherish forever. As we embraced, I felt a wave of relief wash over me. All those years of hard work and sleepless nights had paid off. "We're going to be fine," I whispered, holding them close. The room filled with warmth and newfound security. At that moment, I knew we could confront the future together, stronger than ever. The legal and financial protections I had established reinforced our bond and provided us with stability. "We're a team, and we will always support each other," I reminded them. They nodded, their hearts swelling with confidence. For the first time in ages, everything felt right, and the future seemed brighter. In the weeks that followed, we discovered a new sense of balance. The emotional turmoil had calmed, replaced by a steady resilience. Our daily routines felt refreshed, knowing we had each other's backs. "It feels great to have some normalcy," my eldest remarked, and I wholeheartedly agreed. Our home felt lighter, free from constant worry and disruptions. We began to focus on our goals and dreams, no longer overshadowed by their mother's return. "Dad, I want to join the soccer team," my middle child declared one evening. "Go for it," I encouraged, enjoying their renewed enthusiasm. They poured their energy into school, hobbies, and future aspirations. This shift signaled healing, a focus on thriving rather than merely surviving. Life felt hopeful again. I took pride in watching my children blossom into strong, independent individuals. Each displayed remarkable resilience, channeling their energy into positive pursuits. My eldest excelled academically, while the younger ones found joy in sports and the arts. "You're doing amazing things," I often reminded them, my heart swelling with pride. Their growth was my greatest reward, a testament to our family's strength and unity. We moved forward with resilience and optimism, prepared to face whatever lay ahead. My preparations had secured our stability, but our shared spirit was what truly held us together. "We're ready for anything, Dad," my youngest said confidently. And I smiled, feeling the same way. Bound by love, trust, and our shared journey, we faced the future with hope. The past was just a chapter. Our story was far from over.